Jim McGregor here from TIRIAS Research. We're at SEMA, the probably coolest show on the planet. It's all cars. You gotta love that. And we're in the Future Tech area, and we're with Dave Elkington, and we're with, is it
Elkington Motor Company, or Elkington Motor Company.
Elkington Motor Company. And one of the coolest things is seeing how technology is changing the industry, changing the automotive industry. Obviously, we've seen it with EVs, but there's a whole industry around classic vehicles and everything else. And you're trying to bring this to life.
Right.
So tell them what you're doing.
Yeah. So really the purpose, what we're trying to do is marry the nostalgia and the kind of the personality of classic vehicles with the modern comfort of an EV. So the funny thing is every one of us have stories around building some classic car, whether it's an older Bronco or a Mustang or a Chev or a Camaro. It's like we literally, every one of us have that story. Yeah. The problem is when you drive that vehicle today, it's a little bit smelly, it's unreliable, it's cold, it's rattly. They're not super comfortable, right? So what we're trying to do is bridge those two and create an electric platform for vintage vehicles that has all of the accoutrements of a modern EV. So as if you're driving a Tesla or you're driving a new hybrid Ford, yet you've got the personality of that Camaro.
Well, and that's a challenge because we've seen retro mods where you're basically piecing things together, taking used Tesla batteries, using Borg-Warner or Revolt motors, and trying to stick them, modifying the chassis and everything else to make it work. You're trying to do more like what the OEMs are doing today, trying to create a platform that people can use and actually use this to create whatever vehicle they want to, quite honestly.
Exactly. So again, the problem is car builders are not technologists. So my background, I built a couple of software companies. My background is in computer engineering and machine learning. I sold a couple of my businesses and I was kind of retired, and I thought, I love old cars, but I love technology. I wonder if I can marry those two together somehow. So that's kind of what we've built.
Okay, so tell us about the platform. What is the platform?
So the challenge is builders aren't EV guys. So we wanted a turnkey, you drop your body on it and you're driving. So that's what this is. This is a turnkey electric platform or electric chassis. What you're looking at is, in this case, this is designed, it's a 92-inch wheelbase, which is a perfect fit for for the Gen 1 Mustang. So we've put several 67 GT500s on this or fastbacks on this thing. But what you're looking at is, the battery box is right in the middle. It's a 90 kilowatt hour battery box that gives you about a 200 to 250 mile range. And you can see we designed our own battery enclosures and battery modules based off of pouch batteries that we've brought in and imported from China. So you've got a high performance battery system. You've got dual motors. Each motor is about 255 horsepower. So you've got a crazy, it's almost 1,200 foot-pounds of torque per motor. So this is a crazy...
For a Mustang.
For a Mustang. So 0 to 60 in this one, our top has been around 2.4, 2.5 seconds on this platform. And the nice thing is, you drop your body on, you drop your you build your interior and you're driving. So on this side, if you're looking at this Bronco this is our performance vehicle. This is our light truck chassis.
Okay, so this could be a Camaro, this could be a Firebird, this could be a Mustang.
We actually right now we've got a partner who's building this on a C10. It's a low-ride C10 with a 115-inch wheelbase. This Bronco, we delivered the chassis, they dropped the body on, and they were driving it 2 days later. So it is an easy button for builders to do EV.
And we should probably note that about this is completely all aftermarket body.
That's right.
So the nice thing is you can buy a lot of these aftermarket parts and build any classic vehicle you want to. And then the interior is phenomenal. It's all custom.
It's all custom.
So, okay, so we have the chassis and we have the parts that you can put around it and everything else. And obviously, I would imagine we're going to see companies actually doing this.
That's right, yeah.
And offering, a classic.
Different models, different builds.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm thinking the 59 Ford is going to be really popular. But what about the other things? Because we still have, you know, the power steering.
Yep.
We have the power brakes. We have the air conditioning. We have. So what about all those other things that used to be mechanical or electrical?
It's totally built in. So let's look under the hood here.
Okay.
So it comes with a complete, I mean, when I say complete powertrain, you have power brakes, so high performance Willwood brake system. It comes with a full HVAC system. So our HVAC system heats and cools our batteries. It heats and cools the motors, the charger, and the cab. So you've got power steering, power brakes. You've got like a full, you know, air conditioned, heated cabin. Like this is like you're driving a modern car.
Okay, and talking to your colleagues earlier, they said this is about a 200-mile range.
That's right.
This is full off-road because it's got dual motors.
That's right.
What about, you know, and it's custom batteries. You guys are actually making.
We design our own batteries.
Yes,
that's right.
So that's
that was a bigger undertaking than I anticipated.
I can imagine. Most people are trying to repurpose other people's batteries,
that's
and
right.
I still think I'm still waiting to see if we're going to have the solid-state batteries in a couple of years.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people trying. I think if we get there, that's huge. Getting rid of the lithium-ion, because encasing them in fluid and all that.
And we'll
stuff.
show you in a minute how we designed it, but that was in all of the technology. That was the biggest undertaking, was to build.
And the platform comes with all this stuff, so it's really everything except the body.
Everything, but you got body and interior, and like that, then you're done. And that's the problem in the modern market is it's so much work to try and build an EV.
Yeah.
We basically made it so you don't have to worry about literally anything except your body and your interior.
And when I was talking to companies a couple of years ago, they were all saying, you know, you're not touching this for under like 80,000.
Right.
We're looking, you know, talking to you guys, you're saying that, you know, this, depending on how you configure it, could be 40 to over 100, depending on how you configure it.
It just depends on your config.
Yeah.
So you've got, if you look, we have different profile motor sizes. So we talked about the 250 horsepower, but we also have a, about 135 horsepower motor. And then we have a 75 horsepower motor sitting in back. And some of our clients are doing rear wheel drive only. So they want drift cars with this. Some do a front wheel drive. So you have lots of different options.
And who are these motors from?
So we have co-developed these out of, again, I took on too much. So if we come take a look at these, so this is the 255 horsepower motor. It's got about a 16,000 RPM motor here. This is the inverter. Gear reduction is about 10.6, 10.8 to 1. So RPMs are roughly, 1,400. This is not. This is one that we've co-developed and imported, designed in China, and we brought it in ourselves. So this is our own motor.
That's impressive.
And the problem in the market is all of these aftermarket parts. Like if you look at, I won't name anybody, but they're really expensive. So we are a fraction the price because we designed our own motors. Again, we in partnership with people who've done a lot of this kind of stuff.
Even the chassis. So you actually partnered with a company that had already developed a Bronco chassis.
So
stuff like that.
That's right. This is our own chassis. So we've got an engineering team out of the UK that have designed this from the ground up. We also have some people who know the Bronco chassis space. So we co-developed the chassis with them, and so it truly is a ground up build. Let's walk over to the batteries. So if you look at this, these are the pouches we're using. So these are 45 amp pouches. They're made by Eve, which is the largest manufacturer in China. And in our build, we have roughly 540 of these. And the way we make these is there's 18 of these modules in each one of these. And so there are 5 pouches per stack right here, 6 of these stacks. And then we put them in parallel in series to get to about 450 volts, which gives us the torque that we want.
Is there liquid cooling or some kind of fluid?
There is. So not in this, but what we do is we're getting into some of the tech, but we put what are called thermistors, which are basically temperature measurement gauges.
Yes.
Several in each of these sections. And then we do what's called active balancing. So if this section has a little too much power after a use, and this one has too little, we'll actually move a little bit of the power between these. So most OEMs aren't doing that yet. But again, I like stuff like this. So
software guy, here we go.
So we're doing active balancing. We run a cooling plate, which I don't know if we brought one, but all of the heat comes off of these tabs.
Yeah.
So if you do a thermal analysis, the heat in a lithium-ion batteries, these tabs as they go down, so these kind of light up, but it's mostly in the power transfer. So we're actually actively cooling the hottest part. And so this, if you look right over here, we've partnered with Hypercraft, and this is an HVAC system. So we're basically pumping fluid out of this into both heated and cooled fluid into the battery area, into the motors, into the inverter or the charger. So the whole thing is actively kind of temperature managed. So,
and all these are in the engine compartment?
These are all in the engine department. Okay. So this one's an interesting piece. So this is a CCS charging unit. So we charge roughly at 150 kilowatts, which means this is a high-speed charging unit. So like every Starbucks in the country, you could plug this in. It's a 20 to 30-minute charge, and you can set one up at your house and do a slower charge of 10 hours or something like that. So high-speed charging, totally actively managed. Again, totally seamless. And we've not introduced this yet, but later, or in Q1 or Q2 next year, there's a full mobile and software component to this, where if you build a car and you want to lend it to your daughter, you can geofence where they can go, and if they go outside that area, it goes into limp mode and they have to come back. And so there's a software component to the powertrain also.
What about, and obviously this is, I don't know if this is a touchy subject, but warranty?
No, it's not. So we've got a series of builders who have engaged in a partnership with us, and we're also building out a service network. So it's got a warranty, depending on your build. It's anywhere from 12 months to 5 years, and so the batteries have roughly a 4,000 recharge life cycle. The batteries, actually, you can drop the battery box, you can buy a new one. If we have a issue with the batteries, we go swap a battery with somebody, we repair it.
Okay, there is a constant monitoring, I would assume, as well, so that you can identify ahead of time if there's actually a battery cell going out.
That's right.
That's awesome. So, I mean, can a home builder actually be able to do this?
They can. So they would buy through one of our partners.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, they could maintain it. They could actually get the information. Say, okay, this cell is bad. You need to replace it.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay.
No. So for the battery maintenance, we want to own that, right?
Okay.
And it's just, they could, but there's enough safety concerns. This, like I said, this is 450 volts. That's enough to make you remember it. And so we don't want, like, the warranty, you can't open the box. It's not unlike a Tesla or a Mercedes EV. Like, if you open it, you
sell a service contract with that.
You sell a service contract with it.
That's great. No, this is awesome. And quite honestly, I want that Bronco a lot more than I want a Cybertruck. So
that is cool. And when you drive this thing, it is one of the most fun drives.
Okay.
We've got 37-inch tires on this, and it feels like you're launching a plane. Because with an EV, we have different modes. So you've kind of got performance mode, you have off-road mode. Because of the torque, I mean, the travel is only about 9 inches, so it's not, I mean, you're not probably taking this into Moab, but trails, you're good.
No, that's awesome.
It's a fun drive.
Dave, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Appreciate it.